Hello, this is Bobby at Copel TV Repair with a very interesting video today that is made for one of our customers who ordered a repaired and tested functional silicone board for Sony KDL46. There are a bunch of models, 4100 I believe, yeah, 4100 and a bunch of others. It's a very well-known board. I've made a number of videos for it, and this one is the one that they received and they returned, saying that the screen came up and there was nothing on it, and they saw 14 blinks again, and we went back and forth, and anyhow we told them to return the board. The board literally arrived 5 minutes ago. It is Wednesday around, I don't know what time is it, but around 11-12 o'clock, and they can confirm that and see tracking number. That doesn't matter. Literally, I opened it 5 minutes ago, and the very first thing that I found, to my great surprise, and I want to start with that, is that they had covered, the customer or the technician who worked for them, I think they were a repair company themselves, they had covered everything with the silicone heat transfer paste. And this is, let me turn the TV off. Well, first let me show you that it actually does work. Nothing was done to it. This is as it came out of the box. You may see a green line here. Some of the cables don't make a good contact. If I press it, it will be fine, because we test stuff all the time. Sometimes the cables don't make a good contact, but the board is working fine. I will return to that later. So let me turn it off. The board is, nothing was done to the board, but my first response when I saw those things was as follows. Well, first of all, there was no need. When I saw that, I have never seen anyone, not Sony, not other customer, nobody I have ever seen put the heat transfer silicone paste. It may not be silicone, I don't know it for a fact. Usually it is silicone based, so that, you know, it can be heat transferring, and the silver paste is way too expensive. Here as well, I have never ever, I first saw it on the covers that are the rubber covers for the processors. There is a very good reason why Sony does not do that. This is how a normal board looks like. Well, no, most of the covers here are missing, but there is one that is stuck. And there is no heat transfer. There's glue on the back. There's no heat transfer paste. Heat transfer paste is used usually when you have contact plastic to metal or metal to metal, but not when you have the rubber transfer pad or insulation or heat transfer and insulation pad. It does the job of the paste. You don't combine both. And that's one. There's absolutely no reason why, because it is very soft, very fine, and it really presses very well against any type of surface. I'm sorry. Number two, and for me that is the more important part, those are high frequency voltage regulators. They operate at frequencies anywhere from 40 to 400 kilohertz. Do you know what happens with high frequency when high frequency is introduced to matter, high frequency current, and its association with matter in general? The higher the frequency, the lower the resistance. And what that means, my friends, is that when you have something like that, and God forbid something like that, it is acting as if you place tons of resistors across all over the place. Now, if this is very low voltage, like it is in the case, 5 volts, 15 volts, maybe you will get away with it. Maybe you won't. This is an absolute no-no. This is not the reason why your TV went into 14 blinks, I am guessing. And I'm starting it again. But it is an absolute no-no. If that board was returned to us for a warranty repair, we will say you absolutely screwed it up. Luckily, it is coming up. It is not screwed, as you will see in a minute. Come on. Come up. Did I press you? Oh, I disconnected it. Silly me. Yeah, from here. So let me turn that off. I started pulling it out, and that's why there was nothing. Okay, so I'm putting it back on, just to show that even with this, all this mess, which is extremely strange, but it is a very good way for them to tell that the board is theirs. Plugging it on. And let's hope it didn't lock into error mode before I think I turned it off fast enough. Come on, come on, come on. Yep, there you go. You have the image. So whatever is causing the 14 blinks, that is something in your TV. Of course, we have other boards. All of those had a very unusual problem. We bought a bunch of those boards. It's a separate story from someone, whatever, customers on eBay in Canada. And 4 boards arrived, and they had all the same. First of all, they had, most of them, but not all, had the usual failure, typical for those boards. But then all of them also had something that was resulting in a kind of like slow refresh rate. And this is what it's mentioned on that board at the top. When it was tested, there was image after repair, or maybe it did not need the other major thing that we're used to seeing on those boards, but all of them had a very, very slow repair. And after a lot of time and a lot of investigation, we narrowed the problem down to the, I think it was 40 volts. Let me see how much it was. 27 volts. 27 volts that go to the panel. They are regulated through a switch that is implemented here. And apparently, again, we got all kind of 4 boards, I believe, from one place. All of them had this. And I believe this was someone who was trying to repair a TV that had the panel shorted. And they were trying different boards. And all the boards that they were trying, some of them were good, some of them were bad for other reasons. All of them burned the resistors that stay here. Because the panel was bad. And when we, finally found one of them, the source of the problem, then out of a sudden, all 4 started working. So we have, at this moment, at least another 2 or 3 working here. We do have boards. That's not the problem. The problem is this board was messed up within I'm sorry, it is very unprofessional way. All this massacre with the silicone paste. It's not fatal, luckily. It can be cleaned, and it must be cleaned, and that's not going to fix the problem with the TV. Whatever's causing it to do 14 blinks, one very, I believe, I'm pretty sure, this fuse, the red fuse there that you see, there is either a blog at CopelTVRepair.com's blog, or there was a YouTube, I think there was a blog, yeah, I remember making pictures of that, or there is a video in our YouTube channel about this. So if something like this with the paste or another mishandling shorted, it may have resulted in this board's fuse that leads to the T-cone also shorting. The fuse is on the back side of the board. This is just a hack. That is, I would say, that is most likely what has happened. So take out that main board, find that article in our blog, and check that fuse. This is it. Best of luck.